Hi, my name is Bogdan Mihai, proud founder of the successful company Hemp, which produces high-quality hemp products. And in this video, I will show you some important things to know about Access. What is Access? Although a lot of people don't know what it is very important when you have a business or when you try to manage a project to know how to use that program. It is often used to store information and data, and if you wish to, from the data, you can make many ways to visualize that content. Access is a program where you're free to make how people will visualize your information, and is used by many people working in companies. So if you work at one or own a company, it is important to know the different things that you can do with this program. Remember that if you're looking to impress a boss, you will need to master not only known programs like Word and Excel, but also a program like this one, which, although doesn't seem like much to you, is a known program for people that work in companies and have gained experience. Having this as a program you have mastered in your resume will certainly gain you an advantage over other people that are looking for the same position as you. Once again, this video isn't a detailed guide to how Access works. It is an overview of the program, and I would highly recommend that you search for an in-depth guide to how Access works and what it has to offer as a program. Now, with that out of the way, let us commence. Access has four main ways to display information. You can show it with a table, which is the most basic way to display the information. A query, which is a more sophisticated way of showing your data and can allow you to sort the data. Usually, when you try to take data from another place, it is always safest to take that information from a query, since you will be sure that the program will recognize it properly and that you won't encounter any problems. A report is a way to display your information you already had, but also link some information between them in order to make calculations. Finally, there is the form, which is a more free way to display the information. A form is like organizing how you want the information to look on the screen and how you want to display it. Usually, such a way to display information is used to have like a multi-page blog, where people can find every piece of information easily and can search through the information that you have filtered. In Access, no matter the way you display the information, display the information, if you want to modify something or create some things in the said template, you will need to go in design mode. Design mode is like the editing mode of an Access, and it can be easily overlooked since it seems far easier to simply add information in the normal mode like we are used to. However, it is crucial for people to know that it is by going in design mode that we can change whatever we want as we wish. In each type of information displayer, be it a table, a form, a query, or a report, there is on the bottom right a button that shows a ruler and a triangle. This is design mode. Alongside it, there are also the other modes, so it is easy to change display modes from there. Also, for those exact same reason, it is recommended to create documents in design view. So by going to the Create tab alongside the normal document creation document, there will be a button that allows you to create it in design view. It will have design in the name of said button. When modifying a table, you might want to add some information to your table. Do not start adding information in the view mode, but instead go in design mode and add an entry under the rest of your headers. Once the title is chosen and entered, you have to change the type of information that the data entered will correspond to. Access automatically assumes that every new entry will be a short text. Well, it may not be. So you need to change the type of text that fits best so that Access actually recognizes fields where a date is entered as a date. Then you may go into view mode and add the information that you want to add. A form is perhaps the most useful way to display information, since it allows for a more visual way to display information, all while allowing to have many fields of information that are filtered according to your needs. Let us assume that you already have tables and queries full of data to use in your form. First, Before being able to do anything, you need to create a form in design mode by going in the Create tab and clicking on Form Design. Once that is done, go in the Design tab and click on the Add Existing Field button. That way, you will be adding information from existing queries, not the form. Once you choose the data source from which you want to pick the information, simply double-click on the information that you want to use from the field list in the form, or drag that information to the place desired. Once that is done, you will notice that two spaces have been introduced. The one that is most to the left is the one that will display the name of the information or data that will be displayed, and the right one represents the data that will be displayed. If you move the right information field, the left one will follow and vice versa. If you want to move any of them independently, you will need to click on the gray squares that appear on the left corner of the field that you are trying to move. Of course, by double-clicking the field that explains what the data is, you will be able to change the text to your preference. Don't forget that you can change the size of your text box if your text doesn't all fit in the box. There are many ways to add extra features to your form, but I will be covering only the more essential ones. Firstly, you can add a subform in your form. What is a subform? It is quite literally a form inside of a form. To add one, click on the subform and subreport tool that is found in the Design tab. Don't forget to have the creation wizard selected to help create more precisely what you want. A pop-up should appear after clicking on the subform subreport tool. Select to use existing tables and queries from which to find the information for the subform. Then select from the table query or queries where you will take your information from, add the pertinent fields to show, and click on Next. Always click the option to choose from a list, since there should always be a good recommendation option, the first one that is suggested usually. Click on Next, rename your subform, and click on Finish to have a subform created. Then there is the button option. The button option allows you to better navigate through the data. You can add a button by clicking on the button tool in the Design tab and choosing what you want your button to do, then renaming it. In order to test if the button works, you will have to go on the form view and test how the button works by clicking on it. Sometimes you might want to display some information like it was in a book or folder whose pages you can move. You can insert such feature by clicking on the tab control tool, which is situated in the Design tab. Then click on the place where you want to insert the file, and you're done. From there, you can insert any type of information in the folder, be it on the first page or the second one, without any problem. Another neat thing to have in a form is the ability to change between certain main information sources, which would change the whole form in itself to show the information associated with the information in the box you just changed. To insert such feature, go to the Design tab and click on the Combo Box tool. Make sure that the Combo Wizard was selected and click on the location you want the box to be in. From there, click that you want the information to be taken from a table or query and press on Next. It is recommended to use a query for better use of the combo box, but you can use the data from any table or query. Add the fields that the combo box should take into consideration, and after clicking on Next, put the records that the combo box should allow you to change between. Click on Next, and skip through the steps until you have to rename the combo box. Rename it, and then click on Finish. The last thing that is important, in a more visual way, the last thing that is important to add is the graph. A good visual support for information will often need ways for the public to see the information in a more visual way, thus the usefulness of the graph. If you want to add a graph, you will have to click on the Chart tool in the Design tab and clicking where the graph should be inserted. Choose where to take your information from, which table or query. Add what information and table should be added in the graph. Choose the graph type, and then choose on which axis your information will go. From there, click on Next until you arrive at the page that lets you rename the graph. Rename it, and choose if you want to display a legend. From there, click on Finish, and voila! You have made a graph. Add a title to your form by clicking on the title button in the Form tab, and you're good to go. You have the basics to make a form document. If you want to do a report has similar capacities and similar features, so you can just follow what was said and how to modify a form for you to make your report.